We want to talk about Matt Doherty, who is apparently the subject of some interest from Spurs. Just yesterday, it emerged that he doesn't have an agent, but he might sign with George Mendes, who obviously, is the figure running all of the transfers at Wolves and has been for the last period of time. So we're like, okay, that's a good idea. And then today, it's almost as if he had an agent. Lo and behold, here comes Spurs.
Well, let's not forget the real reason why George Mendes is linked up with Matt Doherty, because of course George Mendes runs Irish company Gestafoot. Of course they're based in Dublin, and so Irish company signs Irish footballer.
Give me the pronunciation again.
Gestafoot? I don't know.
Gestafoot?
Let's go with that.
Yeah.
Come on, you've been to Lisbon.
Yeah.
Give me the Lisbon.
You've been to half a Benfica game.
Lisboa. Pronunciation, go on.
Gestafoot. It's like if you're not sure of something, just go, how would an Irish person pronounce this? And then you have at least a defence of your nationality.
Yeah.
At least it's worse than trying to pronounce things like you suspect the locals do and getting it massively wrong.
Joey Barton with a French accent.
Exactly. I'm happy with Gestafoot right now.
I don't know. I mean, putting a French accent on for your French oral was like absolutely important. It was one of those skill sets that you learn early in life. You're going to get better marks if you put on a French accent.
Well, I think we all tended to do that anyway because we were listening to French voices. I wonder how French people speak in English in French accents.
There were definitely some people in your French class who were refuseniks, who would 100% je m'appelle, who would do that kind of stuff and then would never, like under pain of death, would they do any kind of French accent in the class. And I remember being outside the orals and one of the refuseniks in chief had this beautiful fluent French accent. I was like, you've been putting on that crappy Irish accent in class for fear of embarrassing yourself in front of... Wow. Irish society was a bit fucked up.
Yeah, he roped up to you all there, I think.
Yeah.
But it never worked on the other side for the Irish language. No one went full Connemara for the Irish language oral.
Speak for yourself, for your Dublin accent.
Yeah. We had...
Will my yenums dova agus mumbro top. Do you remember that one?
No.
Yeah, start of the text, the layer route that you had to do or something. Yeah, Mumbro Top was a classic. But
yenums dova.
Yeah. Anyway, Gestafoot. Unfortunately, Portuguese is not a common language in Irish Leaving Cert, so I don't know if it's Gestafoot or not, but I'm going to go with this. And their potential new client in Matt Doherty is being linked with Wolves. So apparently...
No, with Spurs.
Or with Spurs. Jesus, he plays for Wolves. He's been linked with Spurs, which I find an interesting move from a Tottenham Hotspur perspective as to why they actually need another full-back. So fair dues to everybody involved in this for actually bringing this to the forefront. So he's on 20 grand a week at Molineux at the moment. To keep Matt Doherty, you probably got to double his money at the very least.
Yeah, well, no. This is my one chance to get a big deal. I want 70 grand a week. Look at all those crap players who've been on 70 or 80 grand a week at crap clubs. I'm Matt Doherty. I'm going to be amazing for the next 4 years.
Yeah, well, I meant double his money at least.
Yeah. But how do you get to he's got to sign for, Spurs is not a good move in terms of getting paid. I mean, obviously, well, maybe Spurs paying Matt Doherty 60 grand a week. Are they not still paying 20 grand a week to Harry Kane?
Well, Mauricio Pochettino has been out this week saying if we want to win trophies, we need to change the way we think about football and the way we think about how we actually spend our money. And maybe Matt Doherty has timed this perfectly, that he'll join a Tottenham Hotspur club that have just changed their entire outlook on the world, that they've decided they want to keep their superstars and they want to pay them as much money as is necessary. To be fair, with Harry Kane, how much money is actually necessary to give him what he's worth in the modern scale of things? It's probably 250 grand a week.
Yeah, but I'd say with Harry Kane, they can look at Harry and say, look at all the money you get from playing in London for Spurs. This is something that kind of probably hasn't been that big a deal in English football up to this point because there weren't that many great English players playing at the London clubs beyond Lampard and Terry for the last decade. You're a very important player in the biggest market in world sport. You could be big in New York, you could be big in LA, you can be big in London. The ability to generate cash, bucket loads of cash from appearing on billboards, doing TV ads, is bigger there than it is anywhere else. Bigger than it will be at Barcelona, unless you reach Messi levels. If you're Spurs, you're saying, look, this is a mutually beneficial thing here. By not riding us, Harry, you allow us to pay a lower amount to everybody else, which lets us get more good players in. So the team benefits, we get better and stronger, and you get to make loads of money.
Matt Doherty might be one of those players that they might be promising to Harry Kane. The thing is,
Matt Doherty getting in the team at the moment?
no. Like, does he get in ahead of Kieran Trippier? No. After a period of time, maybe he might be in consideration. But like there
was this thing with Pochettino a couple of seasons back where he would switch his fullbacks every game.
Yeah.
Because he expects them to do 16 kilometres. So it's run, take a week off, run, take a week off. So maybe that's what he wants.
Yeah, that was the Kyle Walker season in his last year. So they had Walker and Trippier on the right, and they had Rose and Ben Davis on the left.
Yeah.
So now they've got Trippier, Serge Aurier, Kyle Walker-Peters. Mauricio Pochettino loves Kyle Walker-Peters and sees him as this pet project. Like, gave him that big hug after he got destroyed by Ousmane Dembele and has played very, very well since then. I think he sees him as the next right back should Kieran Trippier go off a cliff form-wise.
So what's the point of this? It's just an agent. It's just it's George Mendes working against himself. I mean, that is a brilliant piece of agentry. Look what I'll do here. I'll get you a link with Spurs, but you're what?
The 2019 version of a link to a club is the verb monitor. And Spurs are currently monitoring the situation, says the Herald this morning. Now, the thing is, Matt Doherty hasn't actually signed up to George Mendes just yet, but he is leaning towards saying yes, according to this article. The thing is, this time next year, you'll be surprised if Matt Doherty's still on 20 grand a week. He'll probably double his money and stay at Wolves, or he'll go on to a bigger club. If you picked any of the big clubs to link Matt Doherty to, I'm not sure would Spurs be anywhere near the sort of top of the list, given the options they have in that position. But Matt Doherty, he's had such a good year that if he was in that squad, he probably would push to being in the argument for a starting place. But it's one hell of a battle to get into that position. So I'm not sure about this.
It's not the right move for his career.
I think it'll be... Of course it is. Like, if there was a move on the table for him to go to Tottenham Hotspur, of course you say yes.
4-year deal, 60 grand a week.
Yeah,
much.
And like we've heard Matt Doherty speak quite a lot this season. He's not exactly the retiring type. He'd be up for a battle. He'd be up for a fight for a position.
And if he makes it, imagine if you make it.
Well, that's the thing. And
2 years into that 4-year deal, they renegotiate and you're getting maybe 100 grand a week.
Like, we were speaking about this 24 hours ago, about when does Matt Doherty get to that position that Seamus Coleman was in 2-3 years ago, where the links to the likes of Manchester United were very genuine, where you're talking about genuinely one of the best fullbacks in the league. Does he need to back this up next year to get to that position? He probably does, and probably have an even better season.
Or take the move now. Take the move. Bump your money. Back yourself, and if it goes tits up, who cares? You're rich.
Yeah, true, but I see, again, just to try and downplay the story a little bit, can you see Spurs going for Matt Doherty, not due to a lack of quality, just because Spurs are so careful with negotiations? They perhaps want a second Premier League season for Matt Doherty to prove himself that he can back this form up, and then say that they've got their money in the right place when it comes to wages, when it comes to the expected transfer fee, because like his contract at Molyneux doesn't expire until 2021, so there's probably going to be a sizable enough transfer fee, granted it's only 2 years away at this point. But like, there's a bit of negotiations to be done there from a Daniel Levy point of view, and he's a tough nut to crack as a negotiator, as we all know, for a fourth right back.
Yeah, so maybe they're planning on selling one of them.
Not fourth choice, but as a fourth.
Maybe they're planning on selling one of them, and they also realise that like the squad is paper thin, that if they do want to compete next year in the Champions League in the new stadium, that you need depth, and he's going to play 24, 25 games, which we were looking at the stats for Dembele. He played 26 league games last year. Yeah,
he played mostly in the Champions League, and I'm a big fan of Moussa Dembele. A lot of people don't rate him, but I thought he was brilliant last year for Spurs. He looks like he's going to go for 10 million quid to China.
Yeah, okay.